You need to stop trying to have everything figured out. It's like you're going up a staircase. You need to take one step at a time. Once you take the first step, you'll be able to see the second step. Once you take the second step, you'll be able to see the third step. Right now, you're trying to see what's at the top of the staircase before you've taken a single step yet. It's a big problem that a lot of people have. I've had that problem, and I had the problem like 30 minutes ago. I was about to read a book, and I was trying to figure out how I'm going to create this whole community where I change lives of, like the younger generation. That's this big thing that I'm trying to build right now. I'm creating courses for it. I'm creating this massive thing. And I was sitting there on my bed before I was going to read. And the reason why I wasn't reading was because I was trying to plan out the whole process in my head right then. And then I thought to myself, like, you can't do that. You can't have it all figured out until you take a step. So the new mindset I have is I'm just going to take a step and just see where it takes me. One step at a time. I'm going to do one thing, and then I'll see what happens. And then I'll readjust. Do the next thing, take the next step, see what happens, readjust. And just keep doing that over and over. And then sooner or later, you're going to be at the top of the staircase. So it's just something to think about. Like, don't try to have it all figured out because you can't. And it's just going to waste your time. What you need to be doing is taking one step at a time, making one decision at a time. And if you're doing that while continually putting in the most effort physically possible, like you're actually trying your hardest in every single step, then it has to work out. There's no other option. Like, you're putting in everything. And if it doesn't work out, then you tried your hardest. So you can't really regret anything because you did what you're supposed to do. It just wasn't meant to be. And I think a lot of people are scared to take risks. A lot of people are scared to take that first step. But if you think about it, right now you're right here. If you take the risk and it works, you're going to be up here, right? But if it doesn't work, you're just going to be right back to where you started. So you might as well take the risk. And like, let's be honest, most of you guys watching this probably don't have a lot built up. I doubt you've spent decades building some sort of like empire that you're scared to risk. You're scared to lose. Maybe you've spent like a year on a business. For me, I built up 250,000 followers across all social media platforms. If I did something like made a change with it all, and I lost all 250,000 followers, I gained those followers in a year. I made all these accounts a year ago. So it would take me a year to gain it back, and probably even less time, because I learned so much throughout that year that using that knowledge, I could probably gain this all back in 6 months. So there is no risk to many of the things that you're scared to do. And even if there is a risk, because yeah, sure, there is a risk, you're going to lose it, but what's the harm in that? You can just gain it right back. And if you're thinking long term like you should, then you can gain it back in 5 years, like everything you've built, because you've learned so much while building it. So why not just do whatever you're scared to do, but you think that the reward could be greater than like the risk and reward ratio? If you think the reward's great, just take the risk. Who cares? You're worrying too much. If you think back when you're 90 years old, you think back to this time, you're not gonna care. You're gonna be like, yeah, I spent 100K on a business and lost it all, but I tried, and there were great experiences in that. And then maybe you learned a lesson during that loss, and then you create a new one, a new business, and it works out. So just take the risk. Take the first step.